Teachers are done. We are ready to begin. Are you ready to begin? Excited? I tell you, everything you are expecting to be touched on will be touched on. So take your notepads, take your AI note taker, and ensure that you get all the notes from all the sessions we are going to have today. At this point, I want us to rise so that we can have our national anthem as well as our East Africa anthem played, and then I will invite Kevin on the stage. So let's rise for our national anthem.
Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jamhuri yetu sote tulilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu,
You may have your seats, ladies and gentlemen. At this point, I want to welcome Kevin Kenya on stage. We can celebrate him as he comes. Kevin is the founder and CEO of HMP Meetings and Events and is the convener of Meet Nairobi. Let's celebrate him one more time.
Thank you so much. I'll give my remarks and then we can get started as we wait for our chief guest who is almost here. What if the next billion shilling opportunity for your business is not hidden in a strategy, document, a locked boardroom, or a market report, but in a conversation waiting to happen in this room? Take a moment and really think about that, because every great investment begins with a conversation. Every strong partnership begins with a conversation. Every destination that rises to global prominence begins with a conversation. And every industry that transforms economics begins where people are willing to come together and imagine something bigger than themselves. Distinguished guests, our esteemed host buyers, exhibitors, industry leaders, and members of the media, good morning and a very warm welcome to Meet Nairobi. Today is a special day, not just because we have gathered here, but because of what this gathering represents. This room represents possibilities, it represents ambition, it represents our shared belief that Africa's business events industry is entering its most exciting chapter yet, and that Nairobi and the whole of Kenya and East Africa is ready to play a leading role in that story. A few years ago, I found myself asking simple questions that many, if not all, of us in this room have probably thought about. Why do some cities become global meeting hubs? Why other destinations with the exact same potential remain overlooked? The answer, I discovered, has very little to do with geography. It has everything to do with a vision. It has everything to do with a collaboration. And it has everything to do with creating platforms where opportunities can find people and people can find opportunities. Destinations do not become successful by accident, nor do industries grow by chance. They grow because people choose to build them intentionally, consistently, and together. That realization became the seed for Meet Nairobi. We built this platform on a simple conviction that Africa deserves a world-class space dedicated entirely to meetings, conferences, exhibitions, hospitality, and tourism. We wanted a platform that brings buyers and suppliers together, creates real business opportunities, and showcases the very best of what the destination have to offer. And today, that vision stands before us, not as an idea on a screen, but as a reality. We are living through an extraordinary moment. Africa is one of the fastest growing regions in the world. Our cities are expanding. Our infrastructure is improving. Our entrepreneurs are innovating. Our business communities are connecting to global markets like never before. The world is paying attention, not just because Africa is the future, but because Africa is increasingly becoming the present. And when people gather to exchange ideas, build partnerships, and do business, entire economies win. Many people look at conferences and exhibitions simply as events. I see them differently. I see them as catalysts of the industry. When a major conference comes to a city, it creates an impact that goes far and beyond the venue itself. Hotels fill up, airlines, restaurants, and transport providers thrive, local businesses grow, young professionals gain priceless exposure, knowledge is shared, and new investments are attracted. Business events are not just gatherings, they are agents of economic growth, and that is why this industry matters so much. Over the next 2 days, the venue will host hundreds of conversations. Some will result in partnerships, some will lead into major business deals, some will spark new ideas, and some will shape the future direction of entire organizations. But none of that happens automatically. It requires intention. So, I would like to challenge everyone here today. Do not simply attend, but participate. Do not simply network, but connect. Do not simply exchange business cards, but really build real relationships. The true value of Meet Nairobi will never be measured by size of this venue or number of people who registered. It will be measured by outcomes. It will be measured by the partnerships you form, the opportunities you unlock, and the impact that remains long after we leave this room. To our exhibitors, thank you for believing in this platform and for showcasing the incredible creativity and excellence of our region. To our hosted buyers, thank you for choosing Nairobi. Your presence here creates opportunities for business and communities across East Africa. To our partners and sponsors, thank you for your trust and support. This event exists because of shared commitments to move our industry forward. And to Meet Nairobi team, thank you for your passion, your hard work, and your belief in a vision that started as a simple idea. So as we look ahead, the future belongs to destinations and industries that understand one basic truth. That is, collaboration is no longer optional, it is essential. No single organization can build an ecosystem alone. No destination can grow in isolation. Our success depends entirely on our ability to work together, to learn from one another, and to create value together. The future of Africa business events industry and travel will not be decided by what happens elsewhere in the world. It will be decided by what we choose to do right here. It depends on the standards we set as an industry, the experiences we create as an industry as well, and the vision we pursue as the people. I firmly believe that Nairobi and Kenya has the talent, the infrastructure, the hospitality, and the ambition to become one of the leading business destinations in the world. But achieving this vision takes all of us, that is the government, the private sector, hospitality brands, event professionals, and entrepreneurs, working together toward a common goal. So today, as we officially open Meet Nairobi, I invite to embrace every possibility before you. Be curious, be intentional, and be collaborative. And most importantly, be open to the conversations around you, because the next great partnership, the next great idea, the next investment opportunity is just one conversation away. Welcome to Meet Nairobi. Welcome to opportunity. Welcome to the future. And thank you so much. Karibuni sana.
Big round of applause for Kevin. As he has said, be curious, be collaborative, be. You are not taking notes. All right. To help us continue with the conversations for today, we have a gentleman who I have known for a while. very great insights that he has for us. And he's looking at me wondering if he's the one I'm going to call up next. Yes. So to start off the conversations, I want to welcome none other than the gentleman Jeffers Miruka. Jeffers is the CEO of the Association of Kenya Businesses in Events. So Jeffers, please come up. Let's celebrate Jeffers as he comes. He's also the founding president of AFSAI. He'll let us know what that is and what that means. Karibu sana, Jeffers.
Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Jambo. I thought Kelvin was talking about someone else until I looked at him and I realized he was looking straight at me because I was busy checking on my WhatsApps. Let me just put my phone away. But I'm happy to be part of this conversation. I have been in this industry for many years, actually, I think about 20 years. And one of the people I relate most in this industry, who is my brother, we work together, is seated here. Nick Canol has really been part of this journey for a long time. So over the weekend, Kelvin reached out to me and told me, you know what, you're going to give a keynote. And I was like, keynote? I'm not used to giving keynotes. I'm used to participating in panel discussions, talking to people, networking, collaborating. But I said, I will try and see what I can bring to this event. For me, Meet Nairobi is one of those events that I think when Kelvin reached out to me and said, there is something I'm thinking about, I went straight forward and told him I will support you. Because having been in the business events industry for at least 20 years, having been in associations management for almost the same time, and having gone almost everywhere around the world, I know the power of business events. We call them MICE, but they're actually business events. At this time, I will take a very few minutes as we wait for our chief guest to basically share with you a few notes over time that I've managed to put together in regards to what brings us here. And just before that, there is something that Damiano asked at first, that you need to give a fun fact about yourself. One of the fun facts about myself, which I'm sure very many of you don't know, is that I'm an author. Right? How many people know I'm an author? A lot of you know me. Okay, a few are raising their hands, very few. I have a book which you can find on Amazon. I don't know whether the technical team can. Yes. If you go to Amazon, you'll be able to see a book I have written. It's now about 2 months old on Amazon, The Last Delegate. That talks a lot more about our industry. So please go to Amazon.com. You can buy it. We're working on printing a couple of copies locally so that you guys can access them here in Kenya. But it also excites me that sometimes on Saturday afternoons when I'm at home, so instead of going to watch Arsenal and PSG play, or Arsenal and Manchester United, I like sitting at the corner of my house and writing. All of you are writers, I know. But how many of you have published? I'm sure everybody has something to write about in almost every event. But publishing is now what separates you from being a writer. So it's a very interesting book to read. I encourage you all to go to Amazon, search it, buy it. It's also part of supporting me. So let's go now to my presentation. I have my laptop here because sometimes I'm very short-sighted. If I take off my specs, I may not see any of you. So that's why I have my laptop here to also guide me from what I see here. When we talk about unlocking Africa's business, events, and travel economy, it's a topic that Kelvin asked me to speak about, not because I'm an expert, but because he believed that with my experience, I'm able to put together something very quickly. Long time ago, when I started giving presentations, I used to have 89 slides. Long time ago. So I could come talk endlessly. But now that I'm old enough to know that people don't really want to see so many slides, I only have about 11 slides. I'm going to talk directly to the conversation, and I'm happy to share. You will be able to get the slide deck after this, and I'm also happy to respond to any questions. So Jeffers Miruka, my name, CEO of AFAMCO. AFAMCO means African Association Management Company. I'm also the Secretary General of the Association for Kenya Business Events. If you look at the partners here, you'll see AFAMCO somewhere and you'll see ACBE somewhere. Most of the people here are members of ACBE. And I'm also the founding president of the African Society of Association Executives, which has been around since 2015. It was founded in South Africa. So I've been giving my little contributions in the industry, hoping to grow it and to grow for posterity. Sometimes you may not achieve what you want to do, but if you let it for others to do it, to carry on with your vision, then a lot comes out. So, Africa, the world's most underestimated economy, 1.8 trillion total GDP supported by business events worldwide in 2025, 1.8 trillion. 1.65 billion participants across 180 plus countries in 2025. $3.1 trillion revenue, that's direct, indirect, and induced costs. 24.2 million jobs supported worldwide. And I've said that if business events were a country, they could rank as the world's 16th largest economy. So that tells you the power of business events. If you want to know where I got this from, please go to Events Industry Council and Oxford Economics and Global Economic Significance of Business Events 2026. Everything I'm going to give here has a source. So I'm not going to say something which is not supported by evidence, okay? I just picked from those sources. Africa's paradox, first potential, marginal share. We only attract less than 3% of the global business events. And my brother from ICA, Frank, who at some point will be in this platform, will tell you from the research that ICA does annually. Less than 3%. 97% goes where? Other parts of the world. Maybe Europe takes 60%. Maybe America takes the 60%. But why do we only have less than 3%? So, the global MICE is projected to surpass 1.78 trillion by 2030, up from 916 billion in 2019. It's actually one of the fastest growing segments in the travel ecosystem. Africa still captures under 3%, as I've said, of that value, and only 2 or 3 cities regularly enter the global top 100 ranking. That's very clear from the statistics that we have. The source is from ICA, KICC industry data 2025, and Global MICE projection per industry segment estimates. Our gap is the strategy. Closing even part of the share gap is a generational opportunity that we hope, as we continue to grow the industry, we hope to pass on to the rest. And it's one on policy, infrastructure, and investment. If you look at your program, there is somewhere you'll see the conversation in this Meet Nairobi is based on policy, infrastructure, and investment. So I'm going to talk in my next slides about policy issues, infrastructural issues, and the investment. Destination competitiveness is engineered, not inherited. 3 levels decide who wins the bid and who watches the delegates fly elsewhere. If you're in the industry, this is very close to you. Policy, the right to move. Visas, open skies, and free movement decide whether the world can actually show up. where do we stand when it comes to visas? I know that we've made really considerable progress on issues of visa to Kenya, but how open is Africa for others to visit? The other day I was trying to apply for visa to Cote d'Ivoire, sometime end of this month, for my daughter who is going for a competition there. And you know what? It's costing $150. I have to pay $150 as a Kenyan to go to Cote d'Ivoire. And you know what? It's a single entry visa. It's not even multi-entry visa. How can we talk as Africa as having the right policy when we have those already, barriers? Infrastructure, the capacity to host, venues, hotels, airports, connectivity, and the skilled people who run world-class events. I want to give an interesting example here. Not Rwanda, which we've talked about. I think if you are doing research, the literature review on Rwanda is a lot. But I want to talk about an interesting destination called Angola. Angola, for those who were at IMEX last month, Angola had a big show up. But Angola didn't show up because they thought that's the right place to be. How many of you know that there is a new airline called TAG? I can see a number of hands. TAG is the Angolan national carrier. Flies, I think, 3 to 4 times a week from Nairobi to Luanda. And if you want to travel to South Africa, for example, it will cost you like a third of what KQ will give you. And no hard feelings about Kenya Airways, but it will cost you just a third. Okay? So they fly from Jomo Kenyatta Airport, they'll take you to Luanda, and they'll take you to South Africa, for example. But the interesting thing, when you get to Luanda, they have a new airport, like Dubai. Okay? Just try it. It's actually a Dubai of Africa. It's a massive, massive investment. And then Angola just recently founded the National Convention Bureau. Okay? The National Convention Bureau. And also they're building a big convention center. Okay? So they're open to business. So if you talk about infrastructure, as in Africa, who are the benchmarks? Is it Kenya, where we are? Is it Rwanda, our next door neighbor, who have deliberately put policies to support the business events? Is it South Africa, which we know very well? We talk about the new Bomas International Convention Center. What supports it? We do not have a convention bureau. And this is a conversation we've spoken about for over and over and over. Personally, the first time I met C.S. Balala when he was the minister was in 2013 to talk about the National Convention Bureau. Rwanda just started their convention bureau in 2014, but look at where they are. Let me talk about investment. The will to compete. Convention bureaus, it's about an investment. Bid funds, it's about an investment. You cannot go anywhere to bid without support, especially either from a very strong private sector or from the government. Subvention funding. How many of you know what subvention funding is all about? Okay, how many of you don't know what subvention funding is all about? Those who don't know, just raising your hand doesn't harm. How many of you? Subvention fund is the ability to support an organization which is bringing a major event. You know, there is this big event coming up in October called the World Potato Congress. It's going to happen in Naivasha, bringing over 1,200 delegates. We've been running around to see if we can even get an endorsement from the government. Not even support, endorsement. Yes, we've been told the endorsement letter is coming, but it has not come yet. Endorsement letter, not giving money for subvention, right? So if you can't give an endorsement letter, how do you expect to get a subvention fund? When Rwanda listens to that, they jump there. And you know, we said in my previous slide that you know, total, somewhere I said it determines on where people are actually going, okay? The leaders table is small and Kenya is climbing. Of course, we are making progress. Top 3 in ICA, rotational meetings hosted in 2023. I was looking for the report for 2024, Frank, and I couldn't find it. So I used the one which was accessible, but it still mirrors what is happening. Kenya was number 3 after Rwanda and South Africa. You know, in 2011, Rwanda came to benchmark with Kenya on business events. They came to benchmark with Kenya on business events. But today, it's us who are going to benchmark with Rwanda on business events. What a paradox. South Africa, of course, is ahead there. Kenya was number 58 in global ICA rank in 2023, up from 80, so which means we're climbing. Nairobi was ranked 111th in 2023 from 292 the previous year, which means we're climbing. Kenya stands number 3 in Africa. I truly believe that even for 2024, even 2024 we were number 3. 2025 when it comes out, I truly think it may be the same story. Mobility is the gatekeeper. How an African delegate enters another African country. 51.1% of all African to another African country, you need a visa, okay? 51.1%, a half of everywhere you want to visit, you require a visa. We have specific examples like the 20.4%, which is visa on arrival, or 28.2%, which is free visa. The contradiction is widening. Visas are now required for 51.1% of intra-Africa routes. And then we talk about the AFCTA, you know, it's not helping if that issue cannot be mitigated. Openness has slipped. The conventional visa openness score fell to 0.445 back from 2021 levels. Progress is not guaranteed because we have different policies being pronounced continuously. But the tool exists. 31 countries, that's 57%, now offer e-visas to Africans. Up from 9%, that's 17% in 2016. Technology is helping. A delegate who cannot get in is a delegate you never win. If a delegate cannot come to Kenya because of visa, then you cannot win that delegate, even if you go and over all the bidding, you know, that visa comes number 1. You can get more about that from the African Development Bank and African Union and Africa Visa Openness Index 2025. Open skies, all no show. The share of intra-African air traffic connected since single African air transport market SATM, you know, now spans 38 countries. That's 89%. I know my brother Nicanor will talk about the open skies when we have a conversation here, so I'll let him speak more about that. But as you can see, access is a policy choice, and right now it's priced into every airfare. Beyond the convention centers, which we are talking about, hard infrastructure, convention centers and flexible exhibition halls like the Sarit Exhibition Expo Center. These are major infrastructure for exhibitions. Hotel inventory across price tiers, airport capacity and last mile transport, reliable power, bandwidth, and event technology. I can say that event technology is really growing. The bandwidth we have. Not so sure about reliable power, because if a major global company wants to set a data center here in Kenya, we may not even have enough power capacity to run the data center. The soft infrastructure, bit capability and national convention bureaus. I've spoken about that. Skilled event workforce and professional standards. Kenya, we are not doing badly when it comes to that. Safety, ease of entry and the visit experience. Our hosted buyers, how was your experiences? Do you feel safe in Kenya? How was your experience when you are entering? Maybe After this, after you leave, we may need to do some survey and get feedback, because that's how we get this information. Coordinated destination marketing and data. We have Kenya Tourism Board, which has really been instrumental in gathering data. We have our Kenya Bureau, the statistics organization, right? Which also helps us with data. But we need more people to give us data. Without data, there is really nothing much we can accomplish. Kigali Convention Center hosted 110 international events in 2023, contributing about 10.3 billion to the local economy. One flagship venue, that's Kigali Convention Center, deployed deliberately. It's a deliberate effort that the government of Rwanda has made to grow the mice industry. Investment. Sorry, I missed that. So, investment. 785 billion average direct spend per business event participant when you travel. 2.4 times every 1.3 trillion of direct spend lifts to 3.1 trillion in total sales. Business events outrank air transport and aerospace in direct sales. Why the business events dollar work harder, spend more, stay longer, build the destination brand, and leaves legacy. Flagships beat volume. Kenya had 3,000 plus events, contributing 11 billion contributed to economy in 2023, with Nairobi accounting for 80% of business events. Rwanda hosted 110 events. Look, Kenya, 3,000 plus. Rwanda, 110 plus events, contributing 10.3 billion. See the gap. 3,000 plus events, 11 billion. 110 plus events, 10.3 billion. Basically, the same figure. So, if we have flagship events, which brings volume, then I am assuring you we can do better. Have fewer flagship events and make more money than having events continuously and making less. As I finish, the competitiveness playbook. Stand up a convention bureau. We need one in Kenya. Align public and private. I'm happy that KTB is seated with us here. They represent the public. We as ACBE and other organizations represent the private. Create a bid and subvention fund. There is no shortcut when it comes to that. There is no shortcut. Measure what matters. Track delegates. We need to have a way of collecting data. Compete as a region, win as a region. Scale within the ESC, which is our biggest advantage. Circuits pair Nairobi with Kampala, with Dar es Salaam, with Kigali. Frictional entry, let's see how that can happen. Twin hubs, and maybe Nairobi, Addis, or other cities within the region. From 110,000 to 1 million by 2030. 2015, 110 international business events to Kenya. 2030, we target at least about, let's say, 1 million. Policy, infrastructure, and investment. Open the door, visa on arrival, e-visa for African passports, capitalize infrastructure, capitalize and empower the National Convention Bureau, establish bid and subvention fund to win major congresses. The bottom line, competitiveness is a choice, okay? Competitiveness is a choice. Let's make it Africa's choice. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jeffers. Was there a key takeaway you wanted us to do? Did I interrupt?
No. Just any question if there is, but I'm happy to have a conversation with you. I know our chief guest is here. I'm happy to have a conversation with you and share more about this research. As Association for Kenya Business Events, we have this research, and you can also gain through the complete write-up that we have. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Let's celebrate Jeffers one more time. Now, Jeffers is still here. You can still interact with him. But if you do have any questions, we ask that you note them down. We'll have sessions where you can get to ask your questions at a later point. So note them down, and then we'll be able to continue, and we'll be able to address those questions. Sounds good? All right. At this point, I want to welcome the next speaker. Very interesting gentleman. We are looking forward to hearing his, the thing we do not know about him, the unique spot, a fun fact about him. So ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome on stage none other than Nicanor Sabula. He is the CEO of the Kenya Association of Travel Agents, also known as KATA. Let's celebrate Nicanor. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, MC Damiano. Allow me very quickly to recognize the presence of our chief guest this morning, my dear sister June Chepkemei, who is CEO of the Kenya Tourism Board. Allow also me to recognize the presence of our convener and our host this morning, Kelvin Rukenya. Allow also me to recognize the presence of my good friend and dear brother from Rwanda, who has, traveled all the way to be with us here again this morning. Also, my good friend Jeffers. I'll tell you a story about Jeffers. Many years back, Jeffers and I used to traverse capital cities in Europe, and we're talking about these meetings and events. We were like twin brothers. And those are the days I can tell you that he used to present 21 slides. And I'm impressed, his 11 slides are impactful. And I think they speak about the age as he spoke about. So Jeffers and I have done very many things for this country, but also for the continent. We partner in very many areas. And our dear delegates this morning, good morning. I'm delighted to be here. And quite honest, I think my brother Jeffers has made a presentation here that has painted the picture. And I feel like I should end my presentation because I think you've painted the picture pretty well. And I'm happy that Kelvin, through this event, we are just able to meet as a community, MICE community, just to be able to discuss and challenge ourselves. So allow me therefore to just make very few remarks. It is a great honor to welcome you to this event, a gathering that is rapidly establishing itself as one of the most important platforms for advancing business events and strategic travel. I recall, I think early this year when Kelvin reached out and said that, we wanted to partner in this event. I didn't know, because I felt like we've got too many events that we host as a country. But I must say that over a period of time, I've really come to agree with his dream. He said he dreams, and this was a big dream. So I therefore like to congratulate you, Kevin, our exhibitors who are here today, our hosted buyers, and the stakeholders who are gathered here. Your presence reflects a shared belief that East Africa has a significant role to play in the future of global business events and corporate travel. Allow me therefore just to speak around where we see this event as CATA, the Kenya Association of Travel Agents. From the perspective of CATA, travel management companies and accredited travel agents are essential enablers of this ecosystem. Every delegate attending a conference, every incentive traveler, every corporate executive, and every hosted buyer relies on efficient travel management. Increasingly, organizations expect more than bookings. They demand cost control, traveler safety, compliance, reporting, sustainability, and seamless experiences. Talking about events and what is happening, you realize that around the world, destinations are competing aggressively to attract conferences, exhibitions, incentive travel programs, and corporate meetings because they understand their value. And I think Jeffers has ably demonstrated the value of the MICE sector in any economy. Business events generate high yield visitors, and I think you spoke about $785 per visitor. They create jobs, stimulate investment, and elevate destination brands. For us as East Africa, the good news is that we believe, and when you look at those ICA rankings, that East Africa is highly ranked as a region. And why so? We have world-class hospitality facilities, we have growing air connectivity, remarkable tourism experiences, a vibrant private sector, and a youthful, innovative population. More importantly, we have an opportunity to position ourselves not only as individual destinations, but as a connected regional hub for business events, meeting incentives, and conferences. And Kenya has been a leader, in this transformation. Our travel sector has embraced digital solutions, modern distribution systems, online servicing capabilities, and data-driven travel management approaches that are helping organizations travel smarter, safer, and more efficiently. And we're lucky because we have had, this move by the UN into this destination, and that actually positions us, to be able to grow our capability. Carol, my good friend Carol, we have a national target of attracting 5 million visitors by 2027-2028. That's a government target. Now, based on our positioning and how we see our industry, we have challenged ourselves that actually we can make 10 million by 2035. 10 million. Why? We are expanding our capabilities. And where these numbers are going to come is not going to come from our leisure segment of travel. It's actually going to come from the MICE travel. And as Kenya, we are well positioned. We are expanding our infrastructure, obviously building our airports, building our roads, building our rails. All right? We are putting up venues. I'm just from Mombasa, and we've just added a new venue in Mombasa, 6,000, Tembo International Convention Center by Pride Inn. 10,000, 6,000. We are putting up the Bomas here. We also have another facilities that are coming. So in terms of infrastructure, in terms of facilities, I think we are going to be very well positioned. So we cannot have a lower target like 5 million by 2027. That one we refuse. We feel like as an industry, we can be able, to push ourselves to 10 million by actually before 2035, if we are aggressive enough. So 4 things that I think we need to do. One is the issue of connectivity. And I think we are working on that. Air connectivity. I know we will soon be breaking ground for expansion of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. And beyond just expanding JKI, I think we need also to be able to build, a new airport, to be able to accommodate that. Because without that connectivity, we cannot be able to support those numbers. Number two, I think Jeffers has ably spoken about competitiveness and how we need to position ourselves in terms of building our infrastructure, service excellence, and technology. Third, and something that we clearly are very good at doing as a country, is in terms of collaboration. And Kenya as a destination, we are never scared of collaboration. And that's something we really need to give ourselves a lot of credit for. We collaborate with our colleagues from the region very, very closely. Under the EATP, the East Africa Tourism Platform, and any other. I think there is no country that is open to collaborate and partnership like our country. And that works for us. And finally, is a question of talent. We must continue investing in the next generation of professionals who will lead the future of our industry. So, with those very many remarks, let me again appreciate you, Kelvin, for the opportunity to bring us together. We, as the Kenya Association of Travel Agents, we commit our support to ensure that we grow this particular event to the international event that it deserves to be. Thank you very much, and I wish you a great day ahead.
Let's celebrate Nicanor a bit better. Now, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the story of Daniel. Do you know Daniel? You don't know Daniel. Let me tell you about Daniel. One day, Daniel was attending a very nice conference just like this. Now, unfortunately, he was in a rush for some weird reason on the day. So he came in, and at the registration desk, he just saw a badge written Daniel, and he took it and ran into the conference room. Now, when he got in, he was treated like a VVIP, okay? And he was taken to the coffee lounge, kind of like the one we have at the back there. He was treated to the best snacks, told to sit at the front seat, until the point where the MC said, we'd like to welcome our keynote speaker by the name of Daniel. And so Daniel sat there and looked at his badge, and he said, oh my gosh, this is not me. Because the badge he took was written Regional Director, but Daniel was actually Regional Distributor. So, in that light, what happened? Magic was made. Because as much as he was just a regional distributor, he was able to get connections, he was able to network, and at the end of the day, he actually became a regional director for what he was distributing. So what is the point to this story? Today we make magic, all right? We make magic through connections. And of course, as you talk to someone, look at their badge, ask them, is this your real title? And that is a good thing, yes? And the person who I'm going to call up next definitely did not get her titles mixed up. She is the right person. And before she comes up, I said we are making magic today. There is a video that I want us to see, and then I will introduce the next speaker up on stage. Let's play the video.
Everything you feel out there has an origin. Magical Kenya. That's why this place feels familiar. Here, where it all started, you move differently. You run. You climb. You explore and feel your body respond. You slow down. You stand in wide open spaces. You breathe. You meet the wild on its own terms. Unscripted. Unforgettable. You share food shaped by fire and time. Music that carries rhythm. Moments that feel real. And when the day ends, yours doesn't. You stay a little longer because you found something more. You came for the experience. You leave with wonder. Magical Kenya.
ladies and gentlemen, to tell us more about magical Kenya and the opportunities that we have, let's welcome June Chepkemei, who is the CEO of the Kenya Tourism Board. Let's celebrate June even as she makes her way up on stage. We celebrate her till she gets here. Welcome, June.
Thank you very much. We are Magical Kenya. Thank you for trusting us with your business. Thank you for trusting us with your endeavors. Allow me to recognize the presence of our guests and to ride on the protocols already established and to confirm that indeed Kenya is the leading MICE destination in this part of the world. I wish to recognize the presentation from our friend, but also argue that as a country, there is much more we could do. While we acknowledge that there is much more we could do, I'm also concerned that it has become maybe popular or exciting not to say good things about our country. That even in a presentation where clearly we are still leading as a MICE destination, we had a lot of buts. However, we also need to appreciate that as a country of over 50 million Kenyans, we are running a devolved government with over 4 cities that must grow. And those 4 cities will eventually grow into 48 big ones under our devolved government. And we are a country that is largely supported by our small and medium enterprise. We are here today because of one such institution, Meet Nairobi. And therefore, as we continue to grow and focus on the big ticket events, we need to appreciate that the resilience have been built by yourselves in the SME space. That it is private sector led, and there is little that government is doing, though we should do more. But the fact that our private sector could put together Meet Nairobi and those others that gave us that 1,000 is what sustainability is all about. It's what resilience is all about. But for us to be able to grow and punch above our weight, we then need to lead as government in setting up infrastructure that can support bigger ticket events. Hence, our infrastructure development that Nikano has alluded to. Therefore, I am tempted to, first of all, appreciate ourselves as a country. And those who are our visitors who have not had a chance or who are visiting us because of this event, would you kindly appreciate Kenya for me? Under the circumstances, we are doing well. Nikano just mentioned that there's a new big facility coming up down the coast. We've had a huge demand for meetings at the coast. We've never had a facility that can host. Now we have. We are pushing for another big, huge facility in Eldoret, another one in Kisumu, and another one in Nakuru. We must diversify and allow the dollar to cascade to the ground. The Bomas International Convention Center will support us to go for big ticket events. We have established the Bill Asia group, which you are members, and I wish you had just acknowledged that indeed you sit in that and you are part of the policy arm of government that is shaping the future of MICE in Kenya. I think we need to address it because we are underselling ourselves. As a marketer, we spend so much time and resources positioning the country. But if we as trade are not convinced that we can actually stand and put up a good word for the destination, then it really makes our work difficult. So I'd like to urge all of us, as we identify gaps, let's also appreciate the efforts. So I will spend the next few minutes bragging, so forgive me, because nobody has actually talked nicely about us, so I'll talk nicely about Kenya because I'm paid to talk nicely about Kenya. So we recorded 2.7 million international arrivals, I thought you should know, in 2025, which is a 9% growth, driven mainly by leisure and most importantly, MICE stood out, bringing over 736,000 visitors that cascaded across different parts of the country. And yes, you may be aware, we generated over 11 billion in terms of revenue and also the multiplier effects. We are convinced that we can tap into the 1.2 trillion USD MICE market globally, hence the focus on growing the infrastructure. Over the weekend, I was able to go for Qatar meeting down the coast. I left my house at 8:30. Made it on time. My speech was at 11 a.m. Made my presentation, had lunch with Nikano, and by 4 p.m. I was at home washing my baby. That is the kind of infrastructure that we have built as a country. And I think we should be able to celebrate that for us to grow, the infrastructure must be supportive. Beyond the connectivity, we are working on access. And now the government has set up a team that is now vetting the airlines that need to be supported to get into the destination, to make it affordable and accessible. And also the road infrastructure. Today, if you are unable to fly to Eldoret, you'll be able to go by road. And in the next couple of months, you should be able to take the shortest time to Eldoret, to Kisumu, to Busia. That is the kind of investment that will deliver MICE. Yes, we need the MICE Convention Bureau that has been passed by Cabinet and is now being established to support not just the bombers, but also other MICE facilities coming up. So we are up against the competition, and we know for sure that we must be able to bring more visitors to Africa. We had a chat with our colleagues out there in Rwanda, and what we've agreed is that we have to collaborate. So we are not competing, we are collaborating. There is huge potential for East Africa. There is huge potential for Africa. There are huge global events that would like to rotate within the continent. And the best is for us to come together and say, listen, we can host you in East Africa. And they'll ask you how. We'll tell you that this year we'll host you in Nairobi, next year we'll host you in Kigali, then the other year we'll host you in Kampala. And I think that's the spirit of growing the continent, attracting more tourists to this part of the world. We have so many events happening in Berlin every single week. Why can't we have the same in East Africa? Why can't we have the same within the African continent? And therefore, going into the future, we should not be comparing and saying, oh, Johannesburg is beating you, Kigali is beating you. We should be asking ourselves, how do we jointly bid? How do we jointly bid? How do we give variety? Tell them that, yes, this year you'll be able to watch the wildebeest, next year you'll trek with gorillas, the other year you'll be at the Cape, and that will give us more value as a continent. Oh yeah, I was supposed to be talking nicely and I'm now changing my tone, which is not right. All right, so we are progressing the policies as a country, which is really a strong signal to the international business community to show that we are accessible and we have streamlined our ability to access the destination. So the government, through the various agencies, continue to work to ensure consistent application and reduction in the processes of accessing the destination. And we now have a strong MICE strategy that we are keen to roll out in a few weeks' time. And the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife, through Kenya Tourism Board, is working with the Industry Association to develop a national business event strategy that consolidates the bidding function, marketing function, and industry development function into a coherent framework. We cannot separate infrastructure, bidding, access, incentives. It has to be a well-structured framework that each and every one of us will be able to tap in. It can't be done by government alone, and I think more of a quadruple helix partnership that brings the non-state actors, the government, the private sector, and even the academia to be able to build a more cohesive, structured framework. We are promising that. We are leading that as at KTB, and that's why we did set up the B Leisure Club. And so we also are going to look at the taxes. How do we incentivize conferences through the tax regime? So that if you're coming into the destination and you have to fly in your equipment, what does that look like? If you are to come with certain speciality, if you are coming to film, what are some of those incentives that we need to then provide you for you to consider having your event in this part of the globe? So we are also keen to ensure the accreditation framework for venues, professional conference organizers, and destination marketing companies are now formalized and recognized internationally. This is what raises buyer confidence and reduces the due diligence burden on international associations considering Kenya for their congress. We also need a stronger data system, and policy is only as good as evidence behind it, and the industry currently does not have unified real-time data architecture that tracks business events, performance comprehensively. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall work together. We shall continue to work alongside associations such as Kenya Business Events, the Kenya Association of Travel Agents, because no single institution can carry this agenda alone. The ecosystem functions only when each of its parties coordinated and they have a clear direction. So KTB has maintained a strong presence at international trade platforms to position Kenya in front of the decision makers who allocate international conference businesses globally. So in the same spirit, I want to draw your attention to the Magical Kenya Travel Expo, our flagship trade event, now in its 16th year. It's one of the Africa's premium business-to-business tourism platform. And last year, we grew our expo from 6,500 delegates from 40 countries and facilitated over 10,000 business meetings, making it one of the clearest demonstrations of what structured trade engagement can achieve on this continent. So I invite everyone to the 2026 edition, which is taking place between October 6th and 8th in Nairobi. And we are seeking to channel much of what we have explored in this space to a more tangible and outcome-driven exchange. We are also investing in the next generation of business events professionals. The industry cannot grow sustainably without a talent pipeline that understands both the technical and commercial dimensions of this work. So in closing, Kenya Tourism Board commits to playing its role fully, from bidding support, marketing, research, capacity building, and the kind of strategic partnership that moves us from ambition to results. I wish to extend this to all of us. If you are keen to bid for an event, reach out to us. Don't wait for a convention bureau. We will support you. We'll give you the material. We'll give you the kind of support that you need to be able to successfully bid. I do not know of any event that Kenya has bidded and failed. And if you know any, let me know. In the next few days, we are going to host one of the biggest global La Liga sporting clubs in Talanta, which will be announced shortly. And so as you continue to push us, we're also doing our level best to ensure that we bring the best to Kenya. We believe in visibility being a great idea, but we need to drive traffic. So we shall continue to have visibility out there, but we need to host bigger sporting, MICE, culture, and so forth events here in Kenya, because therein lies the value, and we need the dollar, the euro in the destination. So bear with us, but going into the future, you'll be able to see us utilizing most of the infrastructure to push the traffic to the destination. We are ready to support you. We'll work together. Reach out to us. It does not matter how small your event is, we'll be there to help you, both technically to ensure that it is successful. Thank you so very much, and have a great session.
Thank you so much, June. Let's celebrate her some more. I don't know about you, but after her, I am feeling very... Someone has refused me to say that statement, but I will say it. After hearing her speak, I feel so excited about Kenya and the magic that is in Kenya. So once again, let's celebrate her. Thank you for the good work that you're doing. We really do appreciate. A lot of us are in the mice industry, and we are seeing the fruits of your labor. So please keep on. We are behind you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to quickly switch on. We have a panel discussion that is going to happen. As I said earlier on, please note down any questions or comments on queries that you may have, and that will be a good thing. But to take us through the first panel session is a gentleman who is going to tell us a fun fact about him in the next short while. He's a professional MC and moderator, and he goes by the name of Maina Chege. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Maina to the stage as he takes us through the next session.
Thank you so much, and I hope I did not break protocol by not using the nice staircase. I just jumped like someone who is running anywhere. Good morning, everybody. Can we appreciate June one more time for the amazing work she's doing? I normally appreciate the fact that, June, I don't think I have seen anyone. You're still our youngest CEO in government, and I appreciate that about representing us big time and doing the work that you're doing. I am part and parcel of the people who are looking forward for the Bomas facility, because I can't wait for us to be the kings of the entire region. Yes, you can plug it in. Go ahead. You can plug it in. If you don't mind, I want to jump directly to a panel discussion. And the question is simply one. What's the catch so that we can have all this? And I love the fact that June has said, whenever we have bidded about Kenya, no one is close to beating us. So what is the catch so that we shall even not just bid about some of the global events, but almost all of them, because Kenya is everything, you know. You're just a few meters away to a very nice park, to the national park itself, to some animals. If you want to go and have a run, it's just the other side. If you want to go and have a feel of what? Nyama choma is just the other side. What else? We're just simply the best. If you don't mind, you could have that that QR code on the screen. If you don't mind, if you have it, just put it up. Kindly scan that, because our panel discussion will be involving a lot. Feel free to ask your questions. I normally say, if your phone can't scan, pretend that you're scanning. Then imagine that you're the problem, because it's your phone, it's not us, all right? There you go. So as we're scanning that, please, I just want to appreciate, I have a way of getting to know who has done this. I have a way of getting to know who has already done that. Just let us appreciate you. If you're in the room, just type it in very fast. And as you're doing that, I'm calling in my panelists to kindly come up here very fast, and we can close on this very fast in the moment. Yes. May I have the pleasure of inviting Hasnain Noorani, the founder and group managing director of Pride Inn Hotels, Resorts and Camps. Hasnain, are you around? I'm just trying to see. I think I have seen Pride Inn. They have a very nice booth there. So if he's not around, just call him up so he can come by. Next, we'll also be inviting from the travel and leadership side, Peter Ashira, the CEO and co-founder of AAA. If you're here, Peter, please come up stage. Next, we shall also have Nikanol. I think he was right here, from Qatar, the CEO. Nikanol, if you don't mind, please make it to the stage right away. Also in the event industry, if Eric Mwanzi is here, please come up here. But we also have the global buyers. I have Susan Aslan, Associate Regional VP of Helms Briscoe. If you're here, please come up to the stage right away. And also Shiham Fakil, the Manager Incentives Green Route Africa. Please come up to the stage. A round of applause to my panelists. I've just called them. I think some of them are being brought in, so please come up here. Would like to directly go to that discussion. We have Susan Waringa. Susan Waringa as well, please come up to the stage. Susan Waringa, if you don't mind, please come up to the stage. I know you're looking at your picture. Do I sit where I have been told to sit? No, just feel free. Feel like you're a tourist somehow enjoying your moment there, so feel free to do that. Susan Waringa, Director of Sales. Yes, please come up here. That is at Pride Inn, right? All right. Thank you so much. I think you'll be passed over some of the microphones here. So Susan, is Susan coming? Or she's getting in here?
This one, yes. Oh, yeah.
or Mount Kenya Safari Club. Thank you so much. Karibuni sana. The discussion question is simple. Oh, thank you. I've seen people have already done that. May I have still my slide, please, very, very fast? There's a question that I wanted us to start with so my panelists can react to this. What's the single biggest factor limiting East Africa's ability to win more international business events? Please vote. What's the single biggest factor, in your own opinion, that you think is limiting us and our ability to win more international business events? In fact, I should have said not even more, all. Because we want them all here. We have everything. Let's see what people think. And I love that. I like the participation. And then my guests, if you don't mind, just look through. I would like you to react to this, probably at the start of it, because we want to have all of them coming by here in this country. I like this. I like this. So a lot of people here are thinking what? That visa and travel facilitation. June, can you see that? Visa and travel facilitation. Last I checked is that we are visa free, especially in Africa. I don't know whether someone here was denied. Just checking, all right? But the single biggest factor limiting East Africa's ability to win more international business, in fact, I should say Kenya. Yeah, East Africa. So we should go Kenya, right? So think Kenya. Think Kenya, just Kenya. Let's see what you're thinking on. Okay. Now things have changed. I've seen things have changed. Yeah, things have changed. Infrastructure and venues. At least we have had the good news. A lot of things are happening. Good stuff. Thank you for the participation. This makes a lot of sense. If you check your phone, the next tab is Q&A. Feel free, as my guests are talking, to ask your question there, so we're able to move fast within the time given, and then we can respond on that. My guests, if you don't mind, please hold your mic if you can. Just probably maybe apart from Jeffers, apart from you, maybe we could hear from the others, or someone is getting a neck mic. All right, excellent. Once the neck mic is set, we are ready for you. Very quickly, can I start by quick 60 seconds? Your reaction to that panel and what do you think? All right, as the challenge they see, they're talking about infrastructure and the likes. Maybe you a quick word on that as you tell us about yourself and where you're coming from. Just quick one, your quick thoughts about this. So maybe I could start with you since you're set and ready. Go ahead. Can I have the poll, please, on the screen? They need to see it.
Yeah.
It's right there. Panel, tech team, if you don't mind, the polls. Yes, there you go. What are your thoughts? The same infrastructure and venues is what is there. Any thoughts on that as you tell us about you?
No, I mean, perhaps I maybe don't completely agree.
Some volume on his mic, please, if you don't mind. There you go.
Mm-hmm. I perhaps not completely agree, but yeah, we could do better.
So what is your vote there? What would you have voted for?
I think from a Kenyan perspective, we're taking well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
So, no, my name is Nicanor Sabula.
Yes.
CEO of Kata. Mm-hmm. I know on the slide there they called me Jeffers Miruka.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Did you change your name or what?
No, I mean Jeffers is my brother. We've walked along many years.
Okay.
But my name hasn't changed. So Nicanor Sabula is my name.
Okay.
So I'm the CEO of the Kenya Association of Travel Agents, Kata. Mm-hmm. But I also do represent you as an industry on the board of the Tourism Regulatory Authority of Kenya, TRA.
All right. Yeah. Thanks so much. Next, please.
Hi.
Hi, it's working.
Tasting. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So my name is Shyam and not Susan. I'm Shyam from Greenwood, Africa. And I think you guys swapped out my picture. My vote would definitely be service standards. We have infrastructure, we have venues, we have hotels, international brands and local. Mm-hmm. So definitely service standards and talent and air connectivity is what impacts mainly.
Okay, service standards and talent. I like that. Excellent. Please, your thoughts.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Hi, so I'm Susan. We've had a bit of a role reversal. So I represent hosted buyers here today. Mm-hmm. And on the panel and perhaps in the privileged position of representing a buyer from overseas.
Yeah.
So I'm from the UK, and I work with a company called Helms Briscoe, which is the largest venue finding company globally. We had a turnover last year of $1.94 billion in revenue just on bedrooms alone. So 1,500 associates based across 60 countries globally, and we're all looking for the best places to place our business. For me, on that list, the thing that's lacking is destination marketing. I've already heard this morning more information about Nairobi and Kenya and Africa that I had no idea about, and yet I'm sourcing business. I've placed business in Nairobi for several different clients, and yet I still had no idea about the offer and what's going on here. So please, I know you attend IMEX, I know you attend IBTM, but somehow that message needs to get through that you're here and waiting and ready to do business with international partners.
Excellent. That's a good starting point. There you go. Please go ahead, sir. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Peter. I'm the CEO of Triply. Triply is an operating system for travel businesses. So we basically help travel businesses collect payments more affordably and manage their day-to-day operations all through. We support travel agencies, boutique hotels, cottages, and the likes. So in terms of my answer here, I think I'd probably go with public-private collaboration. And the reason that as to why I'd basically say that is because when I'm going to refer to public as governments, when you look at governments, that's where the resources are, and private entities have the intent. So I feel like if you have good public-private collaboration, you're definitely going to have better destination marketing, better service standards, better infrastructure, and venues. So I believe that to be the reason.
All right, there you go.
Okay, I have a mic. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Susan Waringa. I am the Director of Sales and Marketing for Fairmont Mount Kenya Safari Club. So I represent a call, but I am representing the hotel industry. So I'm in the space of the hotel, and I absolutely go with the poll as in that order, because I'd like to quote Nicanor and June, because for us, it's not about one stakeholder, it's an ecosystem. So if we have the right meeting facilities, and that's what Kenya is really growing into, because we're a growing infrastructure, and the right accommodation, then I do believe in that order we will win one of the best business events in Nairobi.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Allow me to now kickstart the conversation from the side of the global buyers. And you're the ones that we're looking at, because we need you to purchase as much as possible, or choose us here as the proper destination when you're making your final one. The reason why I'm saying this is because you represent the buyer's voice. So my question to you is this: when you're evaluating a destination, like this one, our nice one, what are your top factors that must work and influence that final decision, so that, you know, we can score highly and not fall short? Let me start with you, please, if you don't mind. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, you can go first. Yes. Yes.
So buyers want authentic experiences. I think we're looking for reliability and value.
Reliability and value.
Correct. We want destinations that offer something different from traditional markets. Authentic local experiences, culture, sustainability, and meaningful community engagements are becoming increasingly important. However, creativity alone is not enough. Buyers need confidence in infrastructure, as we've listed. Safety, connectivity, and service delivery is hence why I said service standards. You can have the infrastructure, but behind the desk and the person who's running it is the most important thing. The people who are trained to deliver the service is what makes this industry tick.
Wow.
Africa has a unique advantage because it can offer world-class events alongside extraordinary leisure and culture experiences. Global buyers are looking for destinations that offer uniqueness, certainty, memorable experiences backed by professional delivery.
Wow, I love that. I think the part of services and professional delivery is very close to your heart, and I love that again. Let me come to you as well. what is it that you're looking for us to be the go-to place?
Okay, well, thank you for your question.
Yeah.
So the title of this session is Winning Global Business Events, What Must Change and What Must Scale. So I've prepared a few notes in that order, but I think it does represent and answer your question. So as a global buyer, I can tell you that most destinations don't lose business because they lack hotels, convention centres, or fantastic attractions. They lose business because they're difficult to do business with, or they cannot demonstrate that they can deliver consistently and at scale. So for me, what must change is about removing those barriers to doing business, and what must scale is about increasing capability, consistency, and collaboration. And in preparing my notes, I didn't have access to any of the previous speakers this morning, but there's an enormous theme coming through that everyone's saying the same thing. It's about working together, it's about collaborating, and coming out of your heads in the area that you represent and thinking about how to represent wider. So as a buyer, I can see it's easy to get visas. It's easy to move around. The infrastructure's here to allow our clients and our guests to be able to do everything and experience the various facets that you've presented that offer globally. Okay.
Thank you so much. I think that's colorful, and I hope you're getting this. I think this is very critical here. Now, let me talk to the hotel side of things. And Susan, you're here. You represent one of the places I love, maybe because being a moderator of this panel, I might get a discount. I'm not shouting. But hey, what do you need to do? Because what we have seen from the hotel side of things is that apart from just growing capacity in terms of rooms, what investments are now necessary for all the hotels to become true partners in attracting international events rather than just simply hosting them?
Yeah. Let me say first, I've been privileged to be both a hotelier and an events partner, an events guru. So I do know what the buyer is looking for when they're looking at destinations. So even as we looking for support from our associations, KTB plus all AKB and the rest, as hoteliers, I must say the one thing is we need to be ready with quality accommodation. We must be ready with quality meeting spaces. And some years ago, we would count the bed capacity we had. Today, we cannot. We have amazing hotels. We have amazing accommodation that is tiered. So it's also giving the buyer and the conference delegate an array to select from based on your budget. I mean, if we look at all the hotel groups, each hotel group in Nairobi is represented by 3 hotels each. So I have to say that we are really growing well when it comes to meeting spaces and facilities. But as we have this, is one thing that I know each hotel group here is a learning and development section, that it's very important that we are training our team members to understand what it is that the delegates are looking for when they come to our country. So service standards is absolute. One of the, as much as it has 6% on the poll, it is very key for us as hoteliers to make sure that our team members are delivering quality service. The other thing is we must be able to be our own brand and destination ambassadors. So we're not just working alone as a core, we're not just working alone as Radisson Hotel Group, the Hyatts, every represented hotel here, the Pride Inns, but we're collectively together having discussions that will be able to drive the discussions, drive the meetings, the delegates into the country as our partners are supporting us. So I think that's very key for us, that we are driving talent, they understand the delegate, they understand the different kind of guests coming into our hotels, whether it's leisure or it's a conference delegate.
Oh, it's back. I don't know whether the tech guy wants, you want a discount to go to, just check him. Anyway, I think that's just a curious question from your end. Are you more on the leisure side or more on the conferencing side? Because I have personally attended a very nice conference there that was done it was about the African insurance something in your facility. Just curious to know about your facility.
Sorry, am I more on there?
Are you more on the leisure side? Do you have more of leisure tourists coming in, or do you also?
Right now, I am more on the leisure side because I'm representing Fairmont Mount Kenya Safari Club.
Yeah.
So our biggest business production is leisure, but we are breaking ground for one of the most state-of-the-art conference MICE centers in Nanyuki. So yes.
Lovely.
So within the next 1.5 years, we want to promote destination conferences. I mean, if I think about Essence of Africa that went to Malindi, I mean, we want to start them going to Mount Kenya region too. So even as we open discussions with the Kenya Tourist Board and the rest, is we want to start promoting such regions. So yes, we are on leisure, 70%, 30% MICE, because we also have very good supporters for MICE.
I love that. And just to confirm this, how many of us have never been to the Mount Kenya Safari Club? You've never been there. You never know. You never know what will happen. I'll see more hands are now popping up when I say you never know, right? So I think my encouragement to you is that go. Yes. I don't have a gift, I don't have a ticket, but just go. Just go. It's an amazing place to be at.
I agree.
It's a good place, yeah. Now, let me come to the travel side of things. And Peter, I think I want you to maybe also chip in from this particular side. Connectivity definitely remains. If I want to go to Nanyuki, definitely I must have proper connectivity, all right? Yeah. So it's one of the biggest determinants of destination competitiveness. And I think, John, even we know the infrastructure that has to happen when we are building such a proper big facility that's supposed to compete in the entire of Africa. So there's a lot of connectivity. I can see a lot of things happening. How will people get there, parking spaces and all that. But now to you, Peter, about connectivity. What practical improvements in air access, you are a travel expert here, in air access, travel facilitation, or regional movement would have the greatest impact on business events growth? And if you can, if you had all the power, what is it that you will do to ensure that no one chooses any other destination apart from here?
When you're talking about MICE and business events, right? And when we look at this room and we look at the tools that we're basically using to vote for certain things that are basically happening, it's all driven by technology, right? So for us to say that we want to have a destination where global events are able to be held, we need to improve on our infrastructure layers, on the tools and resources that event organizers and suppliers basically use to ensure that there's a seamless experience, right? And that is also in terms of trying to connect, and we're seeing a lot of it coming up, trying to connect accommodation to the events ticket, to the airline ticket, and just having a one-off purchase, and then ensuring that once the people basically land in the country or in the venue, we have the right infrastructure layers or technology layers to, one, double down on data so we can be able to understand who are coming in, where they're coming in from, and how we can generate more value from that.
I love that. I love that. Let me come to you, sir. I've not forgotten you, but you know you had a speech. So that's why I wanted to, first of all, build from the other panelists and ask you. And I want to speak from just the general event industry, all right? Because you have a lot of experience as well on that side. My question to you, purely on the event side of things, event organizers, which you deal with as well a lot on your end. They're often the bridge between buyers and destinations. So I wanted you to paint a picture on what capabilities event agencies need to scale, because we're talking about scaling here, if we are to consistently deliver world-class experiences. Any ideas?
Thank you. You know, one of the things I say, and I hold a very strong opinion, is that as a destination, we are not short of, skilled event organizers. And I think we have also quite a deep, we have depth in terms of event organizers, even in terms of just how the industry has organized itself through the various trade association and professional associations. That will tell you of an industry that is maturing. And again, if you look across the region, you'll find a lot of Kenyan resources spread across, the continent, but also beyond, pointing to the capability, of the human resource that we have. However, I think what we can do is to be able to upskill, all right? How do we ensure that we have the right standards? We are upholding global standards. How do we also enhance the capacity and the ability of our professional associations that we have in this country, working with them to be able to ensure that the standards we have set for ourselves are global standards, and actually they are holding their members, up to those standards. We are also lucky as a destination that we have had our training institutions invest heavily in preparing the future workforce. A couple of our universities actually now have courses, some of them undergrad and postgrad courses in events management, and that points you, to the destination being in the focus of the destination being in the right hands. So I'm proud of the capacity and the capability the industry has. We just need to continuously then be able to set for ourselves much more higher standards, because for us to be able to grow our competitiveness, that is going to come from the people that actually deliver the service to the delegates, but also to the events that are coming to the destination.
All right. I want to bring this conversation to almost a close with one final question to everybody. And the general one is this. Sometimes we talk about collaboration, and we all believe collaboration must happen for us to have a good time. So what's that one thing that government needs from industry? Most of you here represent industry. So what is this one thing government needs from industry? And think about this. One thing as well industry needs from government. So both ways. Just one thing you would advise, that we need government to do this, and you also need to give government. So I want you to think that way a bit. It would be interesting to see what everybody from their own respective industry will say, so that we can accelerate growth. The bottom line is growth. So you speak to government, but also think about yourself. I need to give government this. I know for sure taxes is a must, but anyway. So I don't know, can I start from that end? Please, go ahead, Susan.
To open discussions across the various stakeholders.
Yeah.
I can only do so much as a hotelier standing alone. I can improve my services and my facilities, but I cannot do it or get the visitors coming to me if I don't have the airline industry giving the destination competitive fares. Connectivity. The discussions that we want the government to have in order that there's access to the opening markets. How can we collaborate